What's up everybody, Thomas here, and today we're back working on the Merkur XR4Ti, and we're going to be going full speed ahead with the exhaust repair, and also we're hopefully going to be getting a new radiator installed, so that's going to be pretty good. So yeah, so let's jump right into it. So we're over at the location of the exhaust leak, and what we're going to need for today is a 1/2 inch impact with 17 mil in it, a 17 mil wrench, and of course the hardware for the exhaust repair. So in order to do this, we just have to put the hardware through the two flanges and then tighten them down, and that should be our repair completed. So let's go do that now. All right, so as you can see, one of the bolts is already installed. See how it just goes through both flanges, and we have the spring on one end to hold it tight, and the nut on the other end to, of course, bolt it down, and then we just have to put the other one in and then tighten them down. So let me grab the other one. It's a bit higher up here, so unfortunately this view might not be so good. In fact, we may want to take this first. There it is, so it's through. To get this nut on. There it is, barely on there. Yes, anyways, as you can see, there it is. So now both things are on and they're pretty tight. So now we just take our 17 mils wrench. Put the wrench in there and we're good to go. Oops. So there it is, the exhaust repair is completed. Looks pretty good. We'll have to see if it leaks when we start it up again, but I don't think it will. Hopefully not. Anyways. So yeah, that's all done. Well guys, so now that we finished doing the exhaust repair here, it's time to move on and start installing a new radiator. So won't be able to get everything completely finished on it today, because I don't have the proper hoses and stuff for the correct setup for this radiator, because it's going to be slightly different than how the car's original cooling system was set up. So we're going to be having to just install the radiator, and then we'll do some more other stuff. Anyways, so let me go grab the radiator and I'll show you what we're going to be doing. Alrighty, so here we are. So I got the new radiator. This is the new shorty radiator from merkurdepot.com. It's pretty sweet, nice aluminum, pretty small. Should work just as effectively as an OEM radiator though, so that's good. And yeah, let me just go grab the original radiator to show you guys what's kind of up here. And the reason I decided to purchase a new radiator because I could have gotten my old radiator fixed, but it was actually going to be like $800 to get it fixed, and it was like $300 and change to get this one, so that's why I went with this one. So now, here's the old radiator that I took out a couple weeks ago. There's a video on that, make sure you check it out. And so yeah, as you can see, all this blue is basically corrosion from like leaking coolant and stuff like that. And it's almost entirely, the entire like whole radiator is basically rotted out and leaking. It was leaking around the seams, and when I checked it in a couple other places. So yeah, so that's not great. And now, what you might be noticing now is there's a few differences. So for example, on the top mount here, or sorry, that's the bottom mount. No, that's the top mount. The radiator mounts in like this. So for the top mount here, you'll notice that there's a secondary smaller inlet outlet thing here, which the new one doesn't have. And same with on the bottom, there's a secondary smaller one that the new radiator doesn't have. So these are the things that I'm talking about that we're gonna have to change. So we're gonna have to do a bit of different hose routing and a couple other things like that. So yeah, so this thing's old now. So I'm just gonna put it off to the side. And here, I'll get you another look here. Once again, just to show the difference in size here is, let me put this radiator down here like so. I'll put this one down here like so. Let me grab the camera so you can kind of see them both. From top to bottom is about 17 inches. Width should be the same on both radiators because it has to fit, it should fit the OEM slot. Let's just say from there to the end, about 27. The new radiator, from top to bottom on the new radiator, is about 13 1/8 inches. So it's a lot shorter. It's almost 4 inches shorter than the original, or well, the previous one that was installed. And width is about 29 inches. So let me double check that. So this width is here. And this is about 28 1/2 inches from tank to tank. And this is about 29 inches total tank to tank. Now total width from mount to mount is, now this dimension should be the same. So total width from mount to mount is about 34 3/4. So let's see if that's the same here. So no, this is about 33 3/8. So the new radiator is a bit wider, but it's a lot shorter. So anyways, it is supposed to mount in with the OEM fittings and stuff, so we're gonna try that. And the way we mounted this, the way we're gonna mount this new one is the same way we're gonna mount, or we disassemble the old one. So we'll slide it up from underneath, up onto the mounts, and then we'll just bolt it in from there. So let's jump right into it. So it should theoretically just mount up like, well, it should mount like this, which is just a little odd. May have to do even more cooling adjustment than I thought, because apparently according to this, it looks like our radiator mounts are on the different sides. So this side now has a lower hose, this side now has the upper hose, whereas on the old one up here, it was that side that had the bottom hose, so it was the side that, yes, and the other side that had the top hose. Yes, because we would look at the radiators like this. So as you can see now, the mounts the hose mounts are on different sides. So there's one here and one there, when it should be one here and one here. And then same with this side, one here and one here, when it should be one here and one here. Now, that's probably just due to the way, well, it is of course due to the way that it's designed, but also maybe due to the way that, because this should theoretically be an almost bolt-in replacement for an automatic Merkur XR4Ti, and this is a manual transmission style radiator. We might have to do a bit more extra stuff than I thought we were originally gonna have to do, but that's fine. I don't really mind the challenge. So anyways, let's get into sliding it right in. So the radiator mounting point is right in there, just underneath this front support here, in here, and there's two, it basically bolts up to the bottom of this frame slash body structure of the vehicle. And yeah, so let's see if it'll go in. We just grab the two bolts for it. So these are the two mounting bolts here. They're just two simple bolts with like rubber grommets on the bottom of them for vibration dampening. So we'll leave them, put them on the floor here. And now let's get ready to slide the radiator up. So here we go. So now, as you can see, the radiator is in there. Now we just pick it up. Make sure it fits around everything, because it is a little bit wider. And we may have to route this wire a little bit differently, but it looks like that's pretty much how it's supposed to go. So as you can see now, right at the top here, there's a lot more space. So let me just go down there. So I'm gonna hold this up. Let me just drop it down. There we go. It should hold and slide underneath it. So yes, so okay, so I think we're gonna have to cut these mounts a little. I think we might just have to grind down these mounts a little and make these, the holes, a little bit bigger in order to fit the radiator in, which isn't a big deal. So let me just get out from underneath here. Put the radiator down. Oops, drop test. Okay, so okay, so time for some modifications. So what's happening is the radiator mounts do not quite fit inside the position it's supposed to be in on the underside of the vehicle here, so I'll show you. So this is from the bottom looking up, and mounting point is there, and then I'll cross on the other side. And what's happening is these guys, the edges of the mount are just a little bit wider, and they're kind of rubbing, so it doesn't really fit in properly. So we're gonna just shave them off a little bit. And then the other thing, which we'll have to figure out once we've trimmed them so it fits all the way into its slot, is we may have to widen these holes a little in order for it to be able to be bolted in properly. So let's jump right on with the trimming part. Oh, oops. Anyways, so yes, you guys have tried fitting it again. Still not quite fit, so we're gonna trim it off a little and then try mounting it again. Also, the horn is actually in the way of the mounting it, so we're gonna have to move the horn out of the way as well, and we'll have to relocate that to somewhere else. So let's finish the trimming. There we go, trimmed off a bit more there. And now our next thing is we've got to get this horn out of the way. So horn is down in the corner there, right in here. And since the new radiator is a lot wider, it doesn't have the space for the horn to be there anymore, so we're gonna have to take it off. We're gonna have to relocate it to a different position. So let me grab some bolts and stuff, or bolts, some tools and things, and I'll figure out a new position. Or well, I'll at least take it off anyways. Yeah, I think I figured out a solution for the horn. Okay, so I need to take that piece out, which looks like a 10 mil. All right, so we have successfully removed the horn now. So I'll now explain my master plan for the horn relocation modification. So this right here is the horn mount bracket, which mounts on a part of the condenser, right? And it mounts like this, and the horn mounts on this side relative to the direction of the vehicle, like so it would look exactly like this in this position of mounting. But instead, what I'm going to do is I am going to, since there is a little part where it mounts so it sits like it locks in like this so it doesn't move, we're gonna basically flatten this piece. So we're gonna make it straight, and then we're gonna put the horn on the inside piece, and we can basically mount it in the same spot, and it'll just have to be twisted a little, and we basically won't have to do any additional wiring or extra work or anything like that. We'll just have to flatten this piece, put it back in, change where it's located, and put the horn right back in, but on the opposite side. So that's what we're gonna do. So first things we're gonna get to is smashing this thing flat. So let me do that.